The Canelo Fire began on the afternoon of May 5, 2009 in a grassland area in southeastern Arizona. Fuel conditions were both thick and extremely dry. Relative humidity was in the single digits. A hand crew that was just completing containment on a nearby fire in Elgin said they watched across the valley as winds picked up the blaze, moving it swiftly across the landscape. The crew was soon ordered to respond to the new fire, where several other crews were already engaged. They were in the rural community of Westgate that night, where 3 homes were lost and 53 others saved. One resident sustained severe burn injuries while trying to leave his property. First on scene at the Canelo Fire included the Sonoita-Elgin Fire Department and the Sierra Vista Ranger District fire personnel of the Coronado National Forest. Management of the fire was transferred to the Eastern Arizona Incident Management Team on May 6th. Throughout team management of the fire, Team Liaison Officer Bob Orrill maintained a daily relationship with Sonoita-Elgin Fire Department Chief Joseph DeWolf. During their conversations, the chief said he thought the best way to engage the residents of Westgate in a conversation about future fire threats would be to offer a Tailgate Fire Information meeting under the big trees at the side of the road in town. He was right. The majority of the community's residents attended the informal roadside meeting. This is how it went.
I have some questions that I've kind of developed that you're probably all thinking about, and I'd like to ask our 2 responding agencies. But before we start, I want to let you guys all know that the team, when we came in here, the people you had working this fire had a real grip on this fire. This fire didn't hardly move at all from when we took it. They did a tremendous job. And while we know there were losses in this community, we looked at there were 53 homes saved and no one was killed. And that's a great thing. So these guys did a great job. What I'd like to do, I guess, is and what we're going to do is when I finish my questions to our representatives and let them answer, you guys are welcome to ask any question you want. And then we'll break from the general session, and if there's someone you feel more comfortable going face-to-face with and not in front of everybody asking a question, we'll hang around and you guys can ask a question in that format. So my first question that maybe many of you are thinking is, can you guys tell the homeowners what they're going to see in this area around their homes in the next few weeks? What's going to happen to all this area here?
Most of it, you're going to see a lot of what we call ash devils. Plumes, you've started seeing them already. You're going to start seeing a lot of those with the wind. You're also still going to see some hot spots. You'll see some heavies that are still smoldering within the black boundary. You may even see some flames over the next couple of weeks.
Folks feel safe here. Should they feel safe right now from those burning stumps out there?
From the mop-up that's been down and the crews that we've had in here over the last few days, I'm 100% confident that everything that is down around the structures is secured.
Yeah, that's the same thing I feel, because one of the things is we worked with Pruitt and his team, one of the emphasis was to get this community cleaned up around very well. And like I said, we've got some country back out here away from the structures that it doesn't make sense to spend a lot of time and stuff in there, because this stuff is going to burn up anyway. And we could certainly do that, but then we run our costs up, and not that it isn't worth something, but we also have to consider how much more do we put into it when we've already secured the area around your homes and it's in very good shape.
What's it going to look like the next time a fire starts heading this way this summer?
This would be the best place to be.
It is. You truly have a good black line around. As lightning season approaches us, you do need to realize that you still have some trees that could take a strike of lightning, and you do have some greened areas. So I'm not saying 100% you're not going to get another fire in this community. But one moving in from one of the directions, you've got a huge buffer around you right now.
Is there anything the homeowners can do to help protect themselves from a fire?
Working on your fire-wise, a lot of you down here are fire-wise pretty well. A lot of my firefighters over the last couple of days have been talking to a lot of the residents and giving them ideas. That's a continuing project for all of us. Fire-wise doesn't happen once a year and then it's done for the next 5. every year you got to get out and redo everything. My crews, when they're down in here, if you have questions on the fire-wise, and a lot of you have already asked, we'll come back in and we'll spend the hour and 45 minutes with you around your home, making suggestions of what you can do to better prepare yourself for an upcoming event like this in the future. Of them. We cannot touch any private property and go in and mow it, nor can you.
Could you not write to them and recommend?
We can do that, yes. But finding the proper owner of lands in Santa Cruz County is a challenge. But I am willing, if you know your neighbor who owns it and you have an address or a phone number, I will definitely make a phone call or send them some literature on Firewise.
One of the discussions that we will have into the future is some kind of system that we can work with the research ranch to better protect you folks into the future. And there again, I can't commit to that because I'm not the boss. And all I can do is tell you, I will carry that back to my boss, and then we'll bring it to her attention. And you know, hopefully in the next few years we can work something out that will be more advantageous to protecting this community in the future. Even if I gave you a 100-foot buffer, I can also tell you that may not be enough. Because the Ryan fire, when it initially came across, it went through some land that had been grazed at probably 90%, and it was able to carry itself till it found a much more fluent fuel to move in, and then it moved even faster. But it didn't necessarily stop it. It just slowed it down for a few minutes. And certainly, you know, had we had a little less grass right up against the community, it might have slowed it down some. But with the things that were going on at that point in the afternoon, and the thing that I want to bring to everyone's attention is the conditions that we dealt with when we took that fire that afternoon were the same conditions without the real high winds, but a very pushy wind that Ryan did.
You need to know that the firefighters struggle every time they lose a house too. That hurts them because their nature is to save those things. So to help the firefighters do their jobs, we need you guys to do stuff on your own property, because you guys don't want to put us in danger, just like we don't want to put you in danger. But if we come to a house sometimes there's too much fuel and we know we can't save, we may try, we may get hurt doing that, and we don't want to do that. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do they have any plans to reseed?
They'll come back and help the grass grow.
Actually, it will come back pretty much. One of the best things about this fire for the land was it was a fast-moving fire. It was hot. It did not get down and stay there and burn the roots down. So it moved through swiftly. So once we get some moisture on this, you're going to see some pretty regrowth right away.
The slurry, I'm just concerned about that. I'm not familiar with it. Does that benefit the environment? Is it toxic? I've got it all over my house, so I'm trying to.
I'm not too sure the new. There is a new formula right now that's designed to break down very, 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 very quickly. And
Is that what was used though, or is it?
That we don't. It was. Yeah, that's what was used.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and so it's designed to break down in 3 to 4 days based on the UV and everything else, and also the monsoons will take it.
So it's get out, get out, get out, get out, and it was horrible. This time you guys let us stay, and was it that much different? I mean, it was really great to be able to be here and know what was going on, and I, for one, really appreciate that.
I'm glad you appreciate it. Actually, this came on us so fast that there was no time. That is the honest answer. There was no time for evacuation.
We do get a piece of apparatus up to your house, and people are trying to take a 3/4 inch, and we got pumps that pump 150 psi. And what worries me sometimes is once we can get our equipment there, then what we would like you to do is move back and let us take care of it, because then the risk becomes that we got to worry about you, and then we got to worry about our firefighters too.
Thank you guys for coming and allowing us to have
Thank you for everything.
The Canelo Fire was fully contained at 4,208 acres. Although the origin of the Canelo Fire remains under investigation at this time, 2 other recent fires in the area were the result of sparks from a vehicle's catalytic converter and a welding machine. A reminder that even the most innocent behavior can start a blaze under the right conditions.